Now, so this IPDB will work exactly like PDB, but like an interactive Morse. Same like Python versus IPython. So PDB versus IPDB. So within the IPDB, you can do all the things. If you want H for help, you can get it. If you want any of the things to done, we can execute it. It works perfectly. If I say C or continue, it will continue the execution. But there is one more point I want to mention. Generally, we have environment variables, right? So environment variables, every language will have environment variables. So in Windows, if I say env, you will get it. But in Linux, if I say export, I will get to know what all the environment variables are there. So within that. So every system will have some environment variables and their values defined. So there is one environment variable called as Python breakpoint. So what is the point is like in Python 3.6, they introduced this version, right? At the time, they told that if the breakpoint, if you write a function, the by default breakpoint will call the PDB. But if you want it to call like IPDB, then you can set this environment variable. If you set this environment variable, whenever you are using a breakpoint, then automatically it will call IPDB. So it is up to you whether to go with this one or the other one. So next thing is like within this code, there is one more interesting point. So that I want to touch is that after this, let me walk through one of the breakpoints. So if you understood the breakpoints, then you will understand the complete story of this. So in the breakpoints, let's say D breakpoints.py. What is this breakpoints? How they can help us? It is not like every time you want to go to each of the line. If you have a big function, you want to execute that function and you want to check where it is failing. So that is what our intention, right? So what is this doing means breakpoints. Let me take one example. Yeah. So let me take one example. Say like I am going for something called as breakpoints. So if I have some kind of statement, say numbers is equal to range of 100, some value, I am doing some logic. I am going for each of the condition and I am checking whether it is correct or not. So it works. So this is some logic I have. If I say clear and Python, so D so and so, then what happens? It will execute. Basically, I want all even numbers, but I'm getting like odd numbers. How can I understand it? So using the debugging, if I need to do either DB or PDB, any other things you can go. Let's say I'm going for import IPDB. So comma IPDB dot set trace if I'm doing. So if I execute now, it will come and it will pass. So now you see 100 times loop is there. So every time if you ask, hey, what is the line? It will tell at line 10. If I go to the next line, so line 11, next line, line 12. So again, next line. So every time if I go like this, I will not understand. In this 100 loops, let's say I want to go to the 50th loop or sometime, or like I want to pass only within this condition. Then what I need to do? I need to have something called as a breakpoint. So breakpoint, what do you mean by breakpoint means? If you write a breakpoint, so till now what happens is like, if I say continue, then what will happen? It will complete the entire execution. If I say N, it will just execute one line. If I say C continue, it is executing entire. But I don't want like that. I want it to stop executing at line 12 only. Till then it should not stop. Then, sir, can we place this breakpoint in that line? Okay, we can place. What if you have multiple such lines where you want to pause? Pause, not stop. I'm saying again. If you want to pause like multiple places, for that, we need to work in a better way. So for working that, there is something called as a breakpoints. If I execute this code again, so now what happens? It will pause here. If I do HR help, I get it. There is something called as a B, right? If I say B, so B means nothing you got. I should specify B12 means at 12th line, I want to have a breakpoint. If I say L right now, apart from this current cursor, did you get a breakpoint number? It will give a number for the breakpoints. So why I will tell shortly. After B, we should give the line number, not like 10 or something. If I give like line 10, now we see, if I say L, did you see that what happened? So yeah, LL I gave, it is working perfect. Did you see it has having breakpoint now? The execution is also there, breakpoint is also there. Okay, if I do like a L and if I say breakpoint at line 9, will it create? No. Blank or comment I will not do. What if I say B for 2? So for 2, second line, it is asking, I am asking, will you make a breakpoint at line 3? Did you see that unlike a comment, it is having a breakpoint here also? Means with this, we get a clarity that even docstrings will be executed. We can have a breakpoint there also. So that's why be careful of not writing too much. Okay, why is this 1, 2, 3 concept? Means like, does it make any difference that after executing this, will it go in the other place? No. Execution will happen in the same order itself. But when you are deleting them, so this number will come to picture. So then what is the purpose of this? If I say continue right now, generally continue means it should go till the end, but now it will not go. It will go till the next breakpoint. So if I say L again, if I say continue, did you see it is going to the next breakpoint? If I say continue, it is going to the next breakpoint. Like that, it is going every time. But it makes no sense for me to break this one. So I don't need this breakpoint at all. Then how to remove that breakpoint? So if I say help again, so it is saying like help and it is saying restart, or like if you want to restart a system, you can use this thing. And there is something called as disable. So disable. So which one you want to disable? The second one. So you should say like 2. When you are creating a breakpoint, you give the line number. When you are disabling or referring, we need to go with this one. If I say LL, did you see now the color is different, right? So for the second one, similarly, if I say disable, so 3. Observe, this may be confusing for newbies, but this is how it works. Now, this is how it works. If I say LL again, you understood it. So if I now take the help, now let's say if I say continue, it is stopping at 1. Earlier, it used to stop even at the line 10. Now, if I say continue again, it will not stop anymore at the other line. So though this breakpoint is there, it makes no sense now. So then I want to delete that breakpoint at all. If I go again here, along with the disable, you have other options also. So like, so remove. So there should be something called as remove. So if I go to this one, yeah, here I wrote all how to set a breakpoint, how to disable a breakpoint, how to re-enable that breakpoint. Yes, if I say enable again, so breakpoint 2, so it will enable it. So now it will make it sense. It will pass not only at the second, so it is stopping here also. In both the cases, it is passing. So that is re-enabling. So, but if you want to delete it, we need to use clear. So if I say clear, say 3, then third breakpoint will be going. So don't confuse with line numbers and this. So when you're creating, we should use line number. When you're disabling or referring, we need to use the breakpoint number referencing. If I say like, clear, or here I wrote like clear, I can use CL also. If I say CL2, so I deleted. Now we got only one breakpoint. So every time if you do continue, it will execute till that place. So if you want to complete execution, so you can do Q, but if you want to restart, you can use R. So if I say Q, it will stop it. So that is how it works. This is all about the breakpoints. And one last point I just want to give is about the post analysis. Breakpoint, and there is something called as post analysis. Means when code is executing, if you want to know, that is breakpoints and like debugging and others. But what if the code was completed and you want to do post analysis? For that, you have something called as Python. Till now, any program, what you do? Python space, what are the file you execute, right? -I we need to give, and give the file name. Say if you want to execute, say A, so using PDB. It doesn't mean that we should have the PDB working or not. See, in this case, PDB was commented, but still I can use it. So it will work like that. If I give 10, 12, it works. The entire execution was completed. Now still the cursor is there in the interactive mode. Now I can ask what happens to that values. Sometimes you want to execute the entire program and you want to check. In that case, this -A will be helpful. So, and after your work is done, you can exit. Means execution plus command line. So if you want, that's what. So Python -I. So script.py. So this is how you do a post analysis. So this is all about debugging.